Alright guys, Delzinski here and welcome to another WWE DVD and Blu-ray review. This time we're looking at the title, The Road Is Jericho. And this is Chris Jericho's most epic stories and rare matches. Now this title is available in two formats. You've got the DVD version priced at £19.99 and you've got the Blu-ray version priced at £22.99, and the Blu-ray is what we're going to be reviewing today. Now this title is available now, and if you do like the sound of my review, check the link in the description box below and you can head over to www.dvd.co.uk and you can put in a purchase right about now. So, The Road Is Jericho. What's it all about? Well, first of all, let's just see, how do you like to refer to Chris Jericho? Is it the Lionheart? Is it the Ayatollah of rock and roller? Is it the man of 1004 holds? Is it the best in the world? Is it the king of the world? Or is it just Y2J Chris Jericho? Because at the start of this title, you have a really epic package of Jericho kind of through the years, and I really liked that. That was a good way to kick off this title and kind of got me thinking of all the names that Jericho had. So I just wanted to mention that. And guys, let me know by the comments box below which version of Jericho you liked the most and what was your favorite nickname when it came to Chris Jericho. Mine personally, well, I've got to go for the man of 1004 holds, and I'll tell you why during this review. Now, this title itself, this is pretty much a match fest. It's nothing more or nothing less, really. Yes, there is a bit of a documentary, but it is more based on the rare matches of this title. So, the documentary side itself, basically, you're jumping in the back of a limo with Chris Jericho as he travels across the country, and you're basically sitting down and he's telling you some stories, some memories, and things, basically feelings and emotions which he had throughout his career as he goes through the matches that are on this title. If you do want to check out the full match listing of this title, check the description box. I'm not going to go through all the matches in this review, but if you do check the description, you'll have the full match listing there, so you can see if this is a title that's right for you. What I would say about this title is it's very entertaining, because Chris Jericho he tells some cracking stories. It's good to understand how he felt throughout his career, because this doesn't just look at WWE, this goes all the way back. So we're looking at ECW, where he started out. Then we're looking at WCW when he had his crybaby phase, and he was, of course, the man of 1004 holds. And then we're looking at his WWE days, ultimately, when he was crowned champion, and feuds such as Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock. Now, my favourite part, personally, is looking at the WCW days, because I was a massive fan of the Cruiserweight division, and I really enjoyed Jericho's feud with Dean Malenko. Obviously, this is where I'm getting to tell you about my favourite nickname, which was the man of 1004 holds, because Dean Malenko was the man of 1000 holds, but Jericho was 4 better. And that's what I kind of love about Chris Jericho. All of his career, he's always been very entertaining, and he's always managed to reinvent himself, because, like I said, in WCW, he was quite the crybaby, but as he developed through his WWE days, he became more serious, had a lot more of a no-nonsense persona, and it's nice to actually go through the ages with Jericho and understand his feelings and what he thought and why his character actually did develop. Something interesting about this title, Jericho mentions the adapting that he had to do, moving from WCW to WWE, because he made the jump on his own, and it was a very different style, a very different scenario for him. So he had to learn the ropes, and it was very nervous, and for him it was quite a testing time in his career, but he did it, he overcame the odds, and he most definitely was worthwhile. Going all the way back to his original days in ECW, we get to see Chris Jericho's first victory, championship victory, where he defeated PitBull for the, I believe it was the television title. So, as you can see, there's a whole mixture of stories here, and Jericho ducks in and out of his career, telling us all about it. I do like this, and I think, as I say, for the Jericho fan, this is most definitely one you've got to pick up. I'm a huge fan of Chris Jericho in general. I listen to his podcast on a weekly basis. I'm a fan of Fozzy. I think they're very good indeed. And during this title as well, he does talk about Fozzy as well. And he does say how he splits his career. And he says he doesn't necessarily see it as a split because he just thoroughly enjoys everything that he does, and no matter what he's doing, he always gives it 100%. And I think we have seen that throughout his career. Every time he's come back, he's always entertained the crowd and the fans. So if you want to go and check out some of the matches, my particular picks were the Ultimo Dragon versus Chris Jericho, because the Ultimo Dragon was a great performer and him and Jericho in the ring was just gold. The same, Dean Malenko versus Chris Jericho. There's a cracking cage match between Chris Jericho and X-Pac, and Jericho tells the story of that X-Pac actually took him under his wing at the time and kind of became his agent as such. Kind of weird. And the original match, which is right at the beginning of the title, where we have him in his ECW days against PitBull. Whoa, some of the moves that were pulled off there were quite risque, but it made it a very entertaining affair. I thoroughly enjoyed this. I also liked in the WWE time when we get to see him feuding with The Rock, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Kurt Angle, and many, many more. And yes, it brings back quite a lot of nostalgia, to be honest, going through those ages with Y2J Chris Jericho. I like this one. My only criticism would be that I always loved the documentary side, and this one lacks a little bit when it comes to that documentary element. It doesn't have it there. It's not like the Ultimate Warriors DVD and Blu-ray, where you had a lot of insight into the Warriors' career. You really get to feel more emotion. Jericho more talks about stories, so you're quite entertained, but you don't get that proper emotion that you get from something like The Warrior or Savage. And, you know, that's not, in a way, I guess that's because of scenarios, different reasons for that. But I always like to see that. Batista's title as well, you actually go on the road with him, and I just kind of found that a little bit more insightful. But that doesn't knock this one, because you do get to see some rare matches, and also Jericho, as I say, thoroughly entertaining. Now, in addition to what I've just talked about, and in addition to the description box where you have got the full match listing, let's just give you a quick rundown of the Blu-ray exclusives that you get on this title. So you get, and I'm going to give you the matches, and then you do get also some talking segments with Y2J. So let's give you those matches. You've got Unforgiven on September 12th, 2014, a ladder match for the Intercontinental Championship between Chris Jericho and Christian. You've also got another Intercontinental Championship match between Chris Jericho and Rey Mysterio. That's from Raw 2009. You've also got from Fatal 4-Way on June 20th, 2010, Chris Jericho versus Evan Bourne. And last but not least, it's the battle of the best in the world, as you've got WWE Payback from June 2013, Chris Jericho versus CM Punk. So that is your Blu-ray exclusives, and this has been my review of The Road Is Jericho. If you're a massive fan of Jericho, you've got to pick this one up. It's a must-have. As I say, I enjoyed it. I love listening to Jericho stories. His podcast is amazing. So all that's left to be said is, if you like the sound of the title, check the description box, and you do have a link to www.dvd.co.uk, and you can pick this one up right now. And then from me, until next time, this is Delzinski, as always, signing out.